We are now.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to our podcast. Thank you for coming. So, today we will be discussing the case of the Delphi murders.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and you want to state some of the facts, Sarah? Like the date that they were murdered? Monday,
Um,
February 13th.
so today is actually the fourth year anniversary
Fourth
4-year
year.
um,
anniversary.
Yeah.
of the day that they were found. Their bodies were found. Yesterday was the anniversary of when they went missing. So,
Hmm.
um, so the
Abby
story
Williams
goes.
and Liberty.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's Abby Williams and Liberty German.
Yeah,
They were
Abby
13 and
14.
14 years old.
Hmm. And they went missing on the Manan High Bridge Trail
So I
at Deer
believe what
Creek
happened
Township.
was they were off school for the day and they wanted to get out and do something, enjoy the nice weather.
Hmm.
And they actually invited their older sister initially to go with them. But she had plans with her boyfriend, so she wasn't able to go with them.
Yeah,
But she
she
told
also
them,
had to work.
yeah.
Hmm.
But she told them if you can get permission and someone to pick you up, I have no problems dropping you off. So they arranged for the father to pick them up, and the sister ended up dropping them off. Peach, do you know what time that they were dropped off around?
It was somewhere between 1:30 and 1:45. She texted her dad at 1:38 and asked if he would be able to pick her up. It's a 7-minute ride from the house they lived in to the bridge or to
Yes,
the walking trail.
research.
Hmm.
So, her dad texted her back and told her, yeah, he would be there to pick her up. Sometimes between 3 and 3:30 when he got off of
3:15.
work.
At 3:15.
Okay. Well, he said he would pick him up between then.
Yeah.
He called her at, uh, the first time he called her was at 3:11. Yep, at 3:11. He called her to tell her that he was on the way. He was almost there. He did
Hmm.
not get an answer. So he called back at 3:24. He didn't get an answer again, so he texted her phone with no reply. Then he called back again at 3:32 and it went straight to voicemail. So that's the 3 phone
Yeah.
calls the dad made.
So you would assume when a call goes right to voicemail, either a number is blocked, which I highly doubt it would be, given it was her father. The phone's off,
Hmm.
or there's maybe no network. Does it go right to voicemail when you have no network?
When no service is there, yes, it goes straight to your voicemail when it's
Yeah.
not picking up a signal.
So where they lived in Deer Creek, it was a small town, I assume.
Yes, a very small town, population 2,915 people. So, very small town.
um, and I guess so. While they were
Yeah, they
there,
were close knit residents.
sorry, hon.
What was that, see?
No, I was just saying that they were close knit residents. They were a small town. They were very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine it's a town where everybody knows everybody kind of place. Kind of like where I live
Hmm.
at.
So
Yeah, very trustworthy.
I'm just gonna pop up a picture of this bridge, and then I'm going to I will pop up a picture that Libby posted of Abby at 2:07 p.m. If you guys want to talk a little bit about that while I'm doing this.
Well, the picture was posted at 2:07. The dad got there at a little after 3.
This
So
picture is a bit
everything had
crazy.
to happen within an hour. Say an hour.
Yeah.
They had to be kidnapped. I'm not going to say killed, but at least far enough away that no one heard them or they didn't hear anyone. I'm
Mhm.
wondering why they didn't yell. There's so many things that, I'm wondering why they didn't do.
Hi, Todd.
From my understanding, there was other people there walking the trails also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
There was
interviewed a
witnesses.
lady.
Yeah, there was witnesses
Mm-hmm.
that said that they seen this guy. So other people had to be there.
So this is a picture of the bridge. I believe it's about, I think they said 70 feet at the highest point from the water. You couldn't get me to walk across that. I don't think people are supposed to be walking across it, was what I read.
Well, this bridge is
but
an
a lot
old
of people
railroad
do.
track. From my understanding, this bridge is an old railroad track that hasn't been used in over 100
Yeah,
years.
it's been abandoned. Yeah.
And now I'll just pop up a picture for you guys.
Very dangerous looking bridge. I would not cross that for anything.
You wouldn't be able to walk very fast across it, for sure. So,
yeah. Which brings us to the point of the man that was on the trail.
Yeah, the man in the video.
He's walking. Me and Sarah were talking about that, how fast he's walking, which, gives you the impression like this man is from that area. He's there. He knows this area very well.
He's definitely been across that bridge before.
Yes.
The way he's walking, the manner he's walking, he's definitely been across that bridge.
So I
several
put up on the
times.
screen a picture of the gentleman on the bridge. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So this was the last picture that was taken on, I believe, Libby's phone.
She recorded. She had enough sense to push record. And in the video, you can hear her ask, "Is the creepy guy still behind us?" And the other little girl says, "Mm-hmm." And then right after that, you hear the man say, "Guys, down the hill." And that's really all that we got to hear of the video. I'm sure there's more video. We just hadn't heard it.
Yeah.
So the father calls the phone 3 times, isn't able to get a hold of them. What time did you say that was at? It was after, I assume, after 3:15 p.m.
Yes, around 3:15 p.m. is when he was when he got there
and from
went
what I
searching
understand,
for the girls. He did not call the police until 5:20. He searched for the girls up until then.
5:30. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they filed a report at 5:30.
So the families, they started searching themselves before calling the police, is what I understand.
Correct.
Yeah, because I don't think that the cops at first ruled it foul play.
Well, no, you're right. I guess they didn't find anything.
Yeah. They thought the girls ran away or something,
From what I understand, when it got darker and they weren't able to search any further, they all went home for the night. I know the sister, Kelsey, said the next morning she packed, I think, some granola bars, she said. And I can't remember if she said a sweater or some blankets for them or something.
Some blankets.
Because they'd be hungry and probably cold from being out there all night. They just thought that they were missing, not abducted or...
She thought probably they lost their way or... something along that line. She was trying to be hopeful.
And then at around noon the next day, unfortunately, their bodies were found.
And they're
and it was a mile east of
the bridge
that they were on. They were found on the north bank of Deer Creek.
In a wooded area.
What was the man's name that found their body?
David. David Elkson?
Yeah.
David Elkson was his name. And some texts have been leaked. We're not sure if it's been verified as factual, but some texts have been leaked. I know the authorities didn't release any details surrounding their autopsy. But some texts have been leaked. I can share those as well, so you guys can have a look at them if you want. You can find them anywhere online, but I will pop them up quickly on the screen. Peach, did you want to, or C, did you want to talk about a little bit about what was found in those texts?
One of the texts said that one of the girls had been stabbed in the neck. Also in the chest, wasn't it? I believe the chest and the
heart,
neck.
Yeah.
And the one was nude.
Yes.
Libby.
Libby was nude from the waist up. Her top was missing. It was covered with leaves and brush, debris. Trying to hide the body or hide the nude part of her. That's really about all he said as far as their bodies.
Yeah, they weren't bound.
No, they were not bound.
But their hands were touching.
I think he said one of them was laying on their backs with their hand up, right? Their arms up?
Yes. And also for the murders were personal for Libby. But not for Abby.
They seem to think that Libby was targeted.
Yeah.
So. And I have a theory, and it's only a theory. I wonder if the girls was talking to someone online and she was supposed to meet them there.
Yeah, because what I would like to know, what me and Sarah were also questioning, did these girls know him? Did one of the girls know him? Did he know the girls?
I definitely don't think they knew the man that was on the bridge, but I think they could have been talking to the man on the bridge and not know it was him. He could have been playing as a teenage kid on the internet. Yeah. It's not like you can hear him or whatever. And, you can pop any picture up and say whatever. So I'm wondering if they thought it was a teenage boy they had been talking to online. And they were supposed to meet him at this bridge, but come to find out it wasn't this teenage boy. It was a grown man they were talking to.
Yeah, because the police have the profile of the man in the ages between 18 and 40s.
Well, so, and then this is another thing that C and I were thinking. We thought it was when the police were first talking about this case, and I'm not sure if it was in a press release or not. I think it was, but don't quote me. They said that there was no risk to the community, which makes me think that it was targeted.
See, when I hear stuff like that,
was that the community was at risk or that he was likely to kill again.
When I hear stuff like that, you got a video of this man. You know what he looks like. You know what he sounds like. You're in a small town, a town that small. Most people. Everybody knows everybody, or at least have seen them.
He wasn't concerned with covering his face.
See, to me, it makes me think the police might know who it is, and maybe they're trying to cover it up. Why? I mean, it's been 4 years. You got all this stuff, but yet you're not. And they've had 4 suspects, but all 4 of them's been no longer suspects. So
dismissed, yeah.
It makes me wonder
if the leaked texts are factual. DNA was found under her nails, so they have his DNA. Now, I know another thing that they did say during one of the press releases was that they were concerned that the murderer could have been in the same room as them as they were giving.
Yeah, because they feel he lives there. He's from that town.
He definitely has to be from that town or surrounding areas.
Or knows the area well.
Yes, he definitely knows the area well. The way he went across that bridge, he has been on it many times.
Or grew up there or something.
Yes. He's very familiar.
You were
Uh-huh.
talking earlier about the property that they were found on and what the terrain was like.
Yeah, it was on Ron Logan's property because the bodies were found and you said Peach where behind the what you call that, a banister? And on Logan's property.
And they went to Logan's
And
house though and done a search warrant.
yeah, and so when Logan, because they've interviewed him and he's he still can't believe that the bodies of these two girls were found on his property, and he goes on to say that it's hard because of the way the rough terrain and this steep embankments that somebody could have carried two bodies there.
So they would have had to have been walked in.
So it goes to, you kind of got to put two and two together, and the girls walked. They were alive, and they had to walk down there because he said there was no way that anybody could, carry two bodies down there, or even get to the place where they were put at.
I definitely
it was hard
think
to
he
find.
done something. He done something to make them feel threatened, whether it be a knife, a gun, or whatever. Otherwise, I don't think they would have been so cooperative to go and follow him or not follow him, but let him lead them wherever.
Yeah, these girls were very active in sports and stuff, so they weren't,
So what C and I were thinking was, do you think that there's a possibility that there could have been more than one person?
Mm-hmm.
But I believe there could have been more than one person simply because of the sketches. I mean, the two sketches they put out, they don't even look nothing alike.
Right.
They put out a sketch of this man, and then a couple years later, they put out a sketch of this man, and there's no resemblance at all. So maybe they seen two different men. We only seen one on the video. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he did have help.
You saying that actually just reminded me of something. Now I could be mistaken, and my information may not be 100% accurate. But wasn't there a father and son that actually matched both the descriptions of both the composite sketches?
From what I can remember, there is 4 suspects, and all 4 suspects has been cleared. One of them did commit suicide. So
yeah, see,
yes,
you have the 4 suspects. Yeah. Could you guys maybe describe them a little bit?
So it was Paul Etter. He had a record. He was wanted for kidnapping and rape of a 26-year-old woman. And he was caught for that after. The next person of interest was Daniel J. Nations. Nations was a registered sex offender from Indiana.
And he did resemble the first sketch a lot.
The third person was Thomas Bruce. Thomas was formerly known as a pastor and is charged with fatally shooting one woman and sexually assaulting 2 others. And the last was Charles Eldridge, who was arrested in 2019 in Union City on charges of child molestation.
Now, unless they haven't released any information about this or regarding this, from what I understand, sexual assault wasn't a motive.
Or at least they haven't released that. Let's say it that way. We don't know if they did or didn't, but they have not released that. Okay. But it definitely makes me think it is with the kid's top being removed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It definitely makes me think something some
Yeah,
kind of assault happened there, you know.
yeah, because was he there,
We don't know how long he had them kids before he killed them. Like I said, there was an hour between the time the picture was posted of them on the bridge and the time that the dad got there. There was an
Mhm.
hour gap.
But
So
they weren't found until the next day, and they didn't
exactly,
release
they wasn't
how
found till the
long
next
that they
day.
suspected they had been deceased for.
Well,
So
okay.
he could have had them all night. And from
All right.
there is a
First of
road
all,
close to there, isn't there? Would he be able to get in by vehicle and take the girls out by vehicle and then bring them back?
from my understanding, there is no road drivable, not unless you had a four-wheeler or dirt bike or something like that. It was a trail, not a road.
Mm.
There
It
was
was
no road
basically
by it though.
oh well, there's a road where you drop them off at, and you go down this long ass walkway or walk path. Like I said, it's big enough for a four-wheeler or a motorcycle to go down. And once you go down that long walk path, then that's when you get to the
To
train
the
track or
bridge.
bridge or whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
there's
it.
a trail before the bridge. Yeah.
Yes. The trail starts at the road where they were dropped off at.
Okay.
Mm.
And it is kind of a long to be honest with you, I was like, why would they want to walk through there to get to that bridge? It's long as hell. It looks long on the paper, by paper, by the
Yeah.
map.
Mhm.
Even that bridge looks like it's pretty long to get across to the other side. It's a
Yeah.
pretty long ways. So, but my thing is, they had an hour gap from the time they were kidnapped till the time the parent got there. All right, the parent got there. I'm assuming he was hollering, yelling for the kids. If you heard your dad hollering, no matter if you got a gun to you or not, you're gonna, to me, you would yell back, get attention, scaring.
So they
This,
weren't there.
yeah, so I'm wondering if they were already dead by this time, or did he have them bound where they couldn't yell,
In
or
another location.
Hmm.
something had to happen for them not to yell back if they could hear their dad.
Well, there was another YouTuber that went out and tried to um reenact and retrace their steps. And I believe the woman went to where the girls' bodies were found from. And see, do you remember if someone was on the standing on the bridge and she screamed and you could hear it clear as day?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it was loud.
Well, see,
Very.
it's pretty loud because anybody knows that you echo, your voice travels across water. That's what makes it echoes. It goes across water. So being on that water, they should have been able to hear it from half a mile down the river,
But if he had a gun and if someone had a gun pointed to your head and they told you not to scream, I don't know that I would scream.
Well, being a 13 or 14-year-old kid, I might can understand it, but I think they were
Yeah,
either
it would
dead
be.
or either they were bound. By that point, they couldn't scream. It wasn't they didn't scream. It was the point of they couldn't scream. Do I know that? No, but
Yeah.
that's just logical thinking, If you're going to kidnap someone, you're going to take them off, you're going to tie them up, bound their mouth where they can't scream, especially if you've already
Yeah.
seen people at the walking trail earlier that day.
I just I'm having a hard time with there's no new evidence, no new
Yeah.
breakthroughs, no nothing in 4 years.
Yes, how can you have a video of the person and still not get nowhere?
With his voice, nobody recognizes how he looks. He wasn't hiding his face. Nobody recognizes his walk, even if it is
Yeah.
altered due to walking on this bridge that he's on. Nobody recognizes anything.
Like I said, maybe
That's
they know
hard.
something and they're just trying to cover it up. Maybe it's a retired cop, or maybe it's one of their narcs and they're just trying to protect him. I don't know, but to me, everything don't add up with this story.
And that's a good one, because that's why we were saying, like, how is it that they have all this evidence and the police are having such a difficult time catching him.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know,
They've
so it could
they've
be.
solved murders with way less evidence than this. You know, they've solved murders with no pictures, no nothing. But yet you got a picture, you got a voice, you got a whole complete video. The town is small and you still don't know anything.
Yeah. Guys, my
Maybe
computer's
that.
frozen. If I close my stream, you guys will still stay up. I can add myself back to it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'll be right back. You guys
Okay.
continue talking. Give
Yeah.
me 2 minutes.
Why does the first picture look totally different than the second picture? Which one are we supposed to be looking for? The first one or the second one?
I think after
know?
they said the second one, the newer one, because that's why then they have his profile as being anywhere between the ages of 18 and 40.
And
But
see,
they did
to me,
disclose that he looks younger than what he is.
the second guy looks nothing like the picture of the man in the video. I mean,
Yeah,
the man
he
in the
looks
video,
younger
his
and
hair
slimmer.
down, don't get me wrong, but you could still see partially his face, and that second sketch looks nothing like him. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is a very weird case. I hope they solve it. I really do. I believe that they know who it is. They just maybe don't have enough evidence on him yet. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
because I think they think that the guy still is there, that he lives there.
Well,
Or
like we said, he has to be from there, live
or
there,
from
around
there.
there.
Yeah. So
Someone who's visited that place many times.
no, I think it's closer. I think it's somebody who either lived there, grew up there, or
Well, they
something
said
to
that
that, because
one of the suspects they had was a homeless man that lived in the woods in that area. They also said that he resembled the sketch. Why
the
hadn't
first
they?
sketch? The first sketch or the
Yeah,
second?
the first sketch.
first one.
The homeless man, and I can't remember which one of the suspects it was. He ended up. I think he was the one that ended up killing himself. But why hadn't they dug into that a little bit deeper? Even if the man is dead, we as American citizens want to know this man's off the streets.
Yeah.
Their parents want closure. You know, who killed their kids.
Yeah.
So even if this man is dead, they need to keep digging, get some proof, do something.
Yeah, because there's DNA from under the girl's fingernails.
Yeah, why can't they take that DNA and do like they're doing with these murder suspects and stuff? Go put it in a database and go back to their relatives.
Maybe he's not an offender or hasn't been caught doing what he does,
But
and it's not in the database.
Yeah, but he don't have to be. Now they can take your DNA, they can run it through a database, and they can find your relatives. Then they take from your relatives and go down. That's how they find in a lot of the ancestry.coms people you ain't, if you was adopted and ain't knowed your family in 40 years. They're doing it with like people that's been raped and people that's in prison for murder, wrongfully convicted or whatever. They're taking that DNA and they're going back through and they're tracking it, and they're finding who really raped these people or who really murdered them. So DNA has come a long way now.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're not running it through the database, trying to find, like I said, relatives.
Yeah, Karen asked, why did he kill himself? Does anyone know? One of the suspects. Do we know why he killed himself?
Of course, nobody never knows why someone really kills themselves. You can only speculate. But he was facing charges on rape, a bunch of charges that he was already facing. Maybe he was being questioned on this case also. Maybe he done it and things was piling up on him. Maybe he just was depressed because he was being accused of something he didn't do. I mean, who really knows why someone kills herself?
Guys, Sarah will be right back. She's having technical difficulties.
It might have been just because he was, felt that he didn't have nowhere else to go. He was down on his luck. So what's the point of living? He didn't leave a suicide note or anything like that, from my understanding.
No, he was being chased by the police at the time.
Yeah. But like I said, he was already a wanted man. So he was wanted on other charges other than being questioned for this case. He was already wanted on other child charges.
Plus, he followed some lady in a truck. She had a flat tire. Followed her over to her house and picked her up and took her away from her house, raped her, I guess, and then brought her back to her truck.
Yeah, I know that
he died because there was a standoff by the police.
Oh, is that the one that?
And after the 5-hour standoff, he suicided.
He committed suicide. Okay.
Yeah. 5 days later, after the rape of the 26-year-old woman, he raped her.
He probably felt like he was going to go to prison the rest of his life anyway, and he didn't want to do that, so he took the easy way out. But there again, he
let that lady live. He didn't kill her.
That might be so, but that's a grown man. I mean, a grown woman. And from my understanding, these two kids fought. So maybe they went to fight him, and he was like, the hell with this. I'm not dealing with it, and killed them.
Yeah, he handcuffed her to the desk, raped her, and then let her go.
Like I said, they haven't said that the girls was sexually assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
But the manner in which one of them was found, I could believe that she's been sexually assaulted.
Well, I think maybe that's the one that he had the connection with. Yeah, that Libby. Because one of the murders was no personal connection, and one was. Yeah, Libby, one of the girls.
Yeah, they said Libby, it was personal. He was a lot more aggressive or whatever. So, and she was the one that was found partially nude.
Yeah.
I can't help but keep going right back to Libby was talking to this man some kind of way, chatting with him some kind of way. And that's why it was so personal with her.
Yeah, because we think that they killed the girls in the barn.
I think that he killed them where they're at. I don't believe he drug them there. I don't believe he killed them and took them there. I believe that he killed them right there. He got them far enough away that maybe he sexually assaulted one of them. Maybe they put up a fight and he just got, he wasn't dealing with it and killed them there. But there was no drag marks. There was no indication of.
Yeah, the crime scene was clean.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that he killed them, though, somewhere and then brought them back there and dumped them out. I just have a hard time believing that. I might be wrong, though,
Yeah, how can he have killed them there?
Because he had a knife. They said that the one had been stabbed in the neck with a knife and one of them in the heart. Well, actually, the same girl was stabbed in the neck and the heart. The other little girl, Libby, they said that he almost took her head completely off.
Oh, yeah, her head was almost severed. Oh.
Yes. So he cut her throat. Almost, like I said, almost completely off. I don't know what else he done to her. Like I said, I can't help but believe there's some kind of sexual assault there.
Yeah, and they're just not disclosing it. I think to this case, there's so much that they can't disclose or that they won't disclose.
Well, they're not going to because they want only the killer to know certain things. That way, when they find the killer, they're going to know it's him because he only knows those certain things.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want us to know this. But people's going to put 2 and 2 together, I mean, so much gets leaked and people's going to come up with their own conclusions. Not to say that our conclusions is right, but it don't take a rocket scientist to figure if your clothes has been removed, there's DNA. You can't help but think there's some kind of sexual assault there. Why would he remove her clothes?
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. Like, does, did he know the girls? Did he know one of them? And the woods was so thick. I don't understand
how he could even get through there to get around there like that. I don't. It has to be someone that really knows to get through that
That
thick ass woods.
and that's what the property owner was saying. That in that location, to even get to that location, it would have been difficult, let alone bringing two bodies there. You know?
Well, that's what I don't think he took the two bodies there. I think he made them walk there, and he killed them. I just don't see him killing them somewhere else and bringing them there together, putting their bodies there. You know, I don't. That's where he took them from. That's almost saying he got them, took them away from the crime scene, and then brought them back. There's nobody's going to do that.
Or did he want to make it look like a rape or an assault case to throw them off?
That's possible.
That could be another
Yeah, definitely possible.
another theory.
I hope one day this case is solved, though.
Sorry, I'm back.
I hope
Yay.
the family gets some closure and some peace.
Yeah.
Of course, my
so
computer
something.
freezes and then wants to update itself and install updates and do this and that.
I told them you were having technical difficulties.
Ugh. Yeah, so Peach, what I was thinking is when you said that, why would he remove their clothes and it wasn't a sexual assault? Maybe he wanted to throw them off and make it look like that.
That's very well possible. But in the back of my head, I'm still stuck on a sexual assault happening.
Todd, what do you think?
I'm still stuck on that they knew him, or not really knew him, but thought they knew him prior, and they were supposed to meet someone there.
Oh, like the internet thing you said, through the internet.
Yes,
Karen?
I think there was some kind of internet, Snapchat, Instagram, I don't know, Facebook, somewhere or another. They was talking to this boy, or they thought was a boy, and it wasn't.
Karen, if you want to add myself, or Peach on Facebook each week or each stream that we're doing, we have no problem sending you what cases we're doing so you can look it up and you can talk a little bit more about it with us. Todd,
Yes.
what do you think about this? What's your ideas?
Very strange case.
Isn't it?
Todd ought to know a lot more than us, because he probably still hears about it every day. You know, it's right there around Todd. So he's from
Todd,
Indiana.
that's not far from you?
Like
It's in Indiana.
2 hours away from me.
Oh.
But still, it's right there in Indiana. He's gonna every direction he turns, he's gonna see something about it or hear something about it.
I feel terribly for the family. At least when you have some details and you know what happened and who it was, you get a little bit of closure. You've lost your family member, and that's hard enough. But not knowing
what happened makes it harder.
Yeah.
And to have pictures and audio and all of this, and not to still know or find the person, you know, it's
got to be more frustrating for them. Yeah,
it's making it worse on them.
Exactly, it has to be terrible.
Well, this is
I couldn't imagine.
This is the 4-year anniversary, and the police said that they are still getting 10 to 15 tips every day. Even to this day, they still got like 38,000 tips that they got to go through.
Yeah, I read it was almost 40.
There was a $41,000 reward, and I'm sure that number must be higher now. I'm sure maybe people from the community have donated, and I'm sure everybody wants this person found, caught, and some justice for these young girls. But yeah, there was a $41,000 reward that's still, as far as I know, if the killer hasn't been caught, then that reward would still be available. And you think that would be incentive for if someone knows something.
Yeah, to come forward.
Yes, if there's anybody out there that knows anything, call the Indiana State Police Department.
I also have
make a report.
That I will share in the chat right now, that you can email if you have any details or Any knowledge surrounding this case, I will post it right now.
And for anyone watching the video, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below and we'll try to answer them.
I know he was definitely from that area. The way he's walking on that bridge.
That's what I was saying too.
That was one of the first things I noticed, Todd, was the way he walked on that bridge was with no hesitation.
Yeah, like casual, like he's walking down the street.
Yes.
You ain't walking across that bridge like that unless you've done it.
Todd, I said you wouldn't be able to get me on that bridge.
Sure.
Yes, someone that's not familiar with that area would never walk across that bridge. It looks like it's about to fall down at any moment.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And just like Sarah said, he acted like he was walking down the street on a Sunday stroll, no hesitation.
Hands in his pockets.
Yeah, never even took his hands out of his pockets, never
looking down.
Never wobbled any at all. No swerving, no nothing. I mean, just perfectly normal.
Todd, do you think that he was now this is what C and I were wondering. Do you think this was something planned, or do you think he was just out for a hike one day and decided, oh well, here's a good opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that. I mean, nobody's gonna really know that.
Yeah, because I was saying, was
I know
he
you're
there?
not gonna know that, but I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on that. Like,
what's your opinion?
I think he's already there. And
He was there lurking.
Waiting?
Yeah, and there was a subreddit too, and they was made. And a lot of people was talking about it, and they was talking about a guy and his son would be out. They was out there building benches and stuff.
Okay, so guys, see, I said that. I thought I heard that there was a father and son out there. Do you think the composite sketches was of the older looking person was the father, the younger looking person was the son?
Could be.
Well, the first sketch looks more like the guy in the video to me, personally.
Yeah.
The first sketch.
I agree with you on that one.
There was also a report of a car being abandoned or broke down at the beginning of the trail, and no one can identify where the car went to or who the car belonged to.
Karen, yes, there's a very short clip that the police have released of him walking. Right, guys? Or is it just a picture?
Yes.
I think it's a very
there's a video.
Yeah.
There's a video.
And there's a video of him his voice. He's saying girls down the hill.
Video?
No, he said guys down the hill. And there's
hill,
actually, if you dig a little bit more, there you could find another video of her asking, is he behind them?
Yeah.
You just have to keep digging through videos. You can get a little bit of clip here and a little bit of clip there. You have to piece it together.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to come up? I will post the StreamYard link. We're not going to stay up here for too much longer. We're going to head over to C's channel to we can talk about it a bit more.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep these videos pretty short, but if somebody wants to come up, I'll post the link. We can stay up for a couple of more minutes.
They also said that there is one part of the video, and my eyes, I guess, are not the best, so I didn't see it. But they said one part of the video you could see, I believe it was Libby's coat, a piece of Libby's coat in a part of the video. So and it's got the guy in it. That's the whole point of the video, was the guy. But they said the guy had gotten so close to Libby that you could see part of Libby's video coat in that video.
Really?
Yes.
Now, this is what I wondered. And I don't like saying this, but I always wonder why they didn't call the police. That might not have saved their lives, but they had their phone with them. They were able to use their phone to put stuff on Snapchat. I always wonder why they didn't send a text to
be honest with you, Sarah,
somebody could be following us. Or
at 13 and 14, I'm surprised that they thought to even record, because who would have thought of that? You know, you're carefree out there having a good time. The last thing you think about is someone kidnapping you, hurting you. The man had to do something for them to start recording him or find him creepy to begin with.
Well, was it Libby or Abigail? One of them really, really was into true crime, and they think that's probably why she had
Abby, the one
the
that
thought to
recorded.
start recording.
Yeah, Abby is the
Mhm.
one that had the phone and started recording, and she was into true crime to begin with. But like I
Yeah.
said, what typical 13, 14-year-old kids would think of something like that?
Their sister, her older sister is now or was going to school for forensics.
And I hope her sister's able to one day solve this case for her parents.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
I
too.
hope so.
But it's a very interesting story. People, if you
Sad.
get out here and look, if you get out here and search, you can find a lot of stuff on this case.
Yeah.
Some of it is a little different than the next, but a lot of it's pretty consistent, you know.
Yes, that's what I found researching this case. Like with the previous one we did, every other either site we went to or video that we watched, there was so much new information from each one.
Yeah.
I really like how this case, from site to site, from page to page, from channel to channel, the information is like you said, quite consistent. It makes it a lot easier to research it.
Yes, you can stay on track a lot easier with this case than some of the previous cases.
Mhm.
Because everybody, like I said, everybody's kind of consistent with the majority of. There's only very few things that people waver, you know. One person said something different than the other. Just like the time scheduling from them being dropped off. The sister said it was around 1:32. The dad said it was around 1:45, but neither here nor there.
Yeah.
You know, it's within minutes.
Yeah. It happened fast.
And
Yes.
this is another one of those cases that, I mean, I like to watch true crime. I watch a lot of it. I hadn't heard of this case before until a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And another thing the timestamps kind of tell me is the man had to already been there, and I don't know if the man was waiting on them, if he
See,
knew
that's
they were
what I was
coming or not, but the
asking.
man
Was
had to be there because all
was
right,
he
if she
lurking
drops
there?
well, all right, if she dropped him off at 1:38, she said it was between 1:38 and 1:45. Let's say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
If she dropped them off between 1:38 and 1:45, they posted a picture at 2:07.
Mm-hmm.
The dad gets there at 3:11. He had to already be there. I mean,
That's
there's
soon.
what? There's 30 minutes maybe between the time that
Or
they
like you
were
said,
dropped off and they were taking the picture. There was only 30 minutes there.
or like you
Mhm.
said, she thought she was meeting somebody there, and they met them. She thought she was meeting a younger boy or even a girl. Who knows? Who knows what people
Yeah. What they do on
pretend.
the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever thought about going, you know, checking that route, checking their computers. I'm sure they check their phone. I'm sure of that. But if they got a computer at home, a laptop, iPad, whatever it may be, I wonder if they have thought to check stuff like that to see who she was chatting with online. If she had made plans with whoever, whatever,
Yeah.
something other than just her phone. Because when you're at home, you're on your laptop, right? You know, you're not going to get on your phone. Hell, I got something bigger. Why am I going to get on a phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, my theory is I think she was chatting with what she thought was a teenage boy online, and it was actually a child predator from around there, and she was supposed to meet him there, and it ended up being a killer. That's my theory. That's what I want to think.
I would hope police would have thought of that and visited that.
Yeah. But they're not saying a lot, you know?
No, there's not a lot of new
No.
updates. There's not I mean, it's pretty much every year on the anniversary, they kind of say the same thing over again. Other than one sketch looking like this, and a couple years later, they put out the second sketch that looks totally different.
That's the only thing
Yeah.
breaking new on the case.
I think that's the last new update they've had. Is that?
What do you guys now? I assume obviously they looked at him, but the owner of the property that they were found on, they looked into him, Ron Logan.
Yes, they went to his house. From my understanding, they searched his house, questioned him, and he was a suspect. He was a suspect at one time, but he is no longer a suspect.
If that was my property, I would feel so terrible.
And that's what he says. He can't, he can't even still comprehend the fact that 2 bodies of these 2 girls were found on his property.
Peach, do you remember reading or hearing anything about whether they looked at like family members, stuff like that, people that knew them?
Actually, they did
having something to do with it. I'm not saying obviously it's not the person that killed them because that person's in the video, but did they look into that possibly someone that knew them had something to do with it?
They did question the grandfather.
Yeah.
Because the one kid stayed with her grandparents.
Okay.
I believe it's Abby that lived, I think it was Libby that lived with her grandparents. Excuse me. Their name is Patty and Mike.
Okay.
Can't remember their last name for some reason, but anyway, they did question the granddad on that.
Possibly German.
Possibly. Could possibly be him, but I know it's her grandparents.
Okay.
And they questioned the granddad on it. He was a suspect for a very short time.
Okay.
But of course they didn't find anything.
They would have looked into it.
Yeah, they didn't find anything.
They looked into the sister too.
Yeah, they looked also into Kelsey, the sister that supposedly dropped them off.
Was, for a long time she was upset about it, that she was
really because they're wasting time on her. And this guy's out there.
But that she now understands why.
Yeah, because she's studying.
So.
Yeah, that's good. I hope that she,
I believe the grandparents' name was Becky and Mike Patty, if I ain't mistaken.
Now that you say that, I remember seeing him in one of the interviews. He hunts, right? And he's actually quite young looking.
Yeah, actually they look kind of young to be grandparents to a teenage, grandchild. Looks very young.
Yeah.
So, and I'm assuming that, their daughter must have been young when she had Libby. So the grandparents is kind of raising her. The mom, from my understanding, lived 200 and some odd miles away.
Oh, okay.
So
the mom looks really young too, like even now.
Yeah, even 4 years later. Right? Yeah, I'll agree.
The daughter looks like her.
But I think that's about all that we really know about it,
Yeah.
Not unless someone's got a question that we can try to answer.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions? Or if you do, you can post them in the comments below. And like Peach said, we'll try and answer them as best as we can for you. There's really not a whole lot of more information out there that we haven't really talked about.
Yeah, and like we've already said, you can go look at so many other reports, and all of it's basically pretty consistent on the details that happen.
There's lots of theories. There's lots of pictures available, lots of videos that you can watch on YouTube. Endless amounts of information online that you can look at.
Yeah.
But like Peach said, it's all pretty consistent. If you watch one, you've pretty much gotten the same amount of information as you're going to get from the next one. So I hope this is the year that they
catch them. Yeah,
little girls and their family.
Definitely, I hope they get some kind of closure to this case. Most definitely. This is really a heartbreaking one. 2 teenage girls.
Yeah, to
You never
know 4
imagine.
years, it's unsolved.
Yes, there's all this
bad.
stuff out there. I mean, all the way down to a video of him, and yet they're no closer today than they was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. Hopefully he slips up or says something to someone, or somebody knows something and finally says something.
Yes.
I'm hoping they take that DNA and go through DNA ancestry
Yeah.
and try to track, or maybe not track it, but narrow it down. At least give them a direction to go.
Yeah. Something.
Maybe they're already doing that.
I don't understand why they hadn't already done it. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
If
and
you've
like you
got
said, maybe they
DNA,
have. Maybe they have, but
isn't that supposed to be the best evidence?
DNA, you can't. That's 100%. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't escape DNA. There's, it's
And a
impossible.
photo and a clip of his voice.
Yes.
They've got everything they need.
Mm-hmm.
And I still can't help but believe someone out there knows who this man is.
Has to.
Yes, someone knows.
They lost time because in the beginning they didn't rule it as foul play, so they lost some time in this, searching for the girls.
Yeah, they thought they were runaways or just that their friends were just lost.
No Amber Alert put out?
No Amber Alert was put
No,
out.
because they didn't think that it was. They thought the girls had run away.
Well, they were missing less than 24 hours. It was less than 24 hours from the time they were reported missing to the time they found their body.
That's
Because they were reported missing around 5.
That's all someone needs to get away.
You got to realize at 13 and 14, that's about the age that kids do start running away, which their parents and grandparents told them they're not like that. They, they're good kids. They always check in. But of course, the police always think they know best. They think they know your kids more than you do.
So,
well, I think it's with protocol,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, protocol.
Yeah,
it is protocol.
It is protocol.
Karen said she heard it can take years to get hit on a DNA database.
Yeah, because what I was saying is he's probably not even in the database. There's Cody where they have all DNAs of people that have been arrested or that are felons.
But see, this DNA ancestry, you necessarily don't have to be in the database. All you got to do is be kin to this person and be in there, and they can narrow it down.
If you're a family member.
Yeah, they can track it down and say that you was the cousin of this person or you was the aunt of this person. Or
but how long does that take?
Actually, I do. If they get a particular case that they're supposed to work on, it really only takes a couple of weeks. Now, because they got 5,000 or 50,000 of them, that's going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
But the police has actually took a particular case to someone that does that, and it was tracked down in just a couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, Kim Kardashian, she's doing this innocence projects, and a lot of them that's in prison, that's what she's having done. The DNA that they got from the crime scene, she's going back through ancestries and tracking it down that way to try to find a killer.
I do know
DNA don't lie.
He investigate like the detectives on this case. When he's doing his press report, he gets really emotional. I don't know if he has children that are around their age or what the case is, but I know he's deeply affected by it every time he talks about it.
Well, to be honest with you, if their bodies was found the way that this David character describes them to be found, horrible. I couldn't imagine having to look at a gruesome scene like that with 2 teenage girls. I would have nightmares. I really would have nightmares.
For sure.
I could see why it would affect anyone that was involved in this case.
For sure.
Okay, I think we're about ready to wrap this up. I think we've done went over about all we can.
Yeah, this was a good case.
Like I said, guys, if y'all got any questions, if you think of any later on, leave them in the comments below, and we'll try to, answer them the best we can. Thanks for coming out,
Absolutely.
listening, watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for the support.
And
Yes.
see, are you gonna go live after this?
Yeah,
Mike?
I'm gonna go live right now.
Okay, well,
And we could
ladies,
keep
just
chatting
give
over
me
there if
1
anything.
second. I will
Alright.
post C's link in the comments, or sorry, in the chat.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Ring our bell.
For notifications.
Ring our bell. Just give me 30 minutes to do this, guys.
30 minutes.
Todd, I'm slow.
We're new at this rodeo.
Not new at posting no link.
Stop it. Behave yourself, Todd.
If anybody gets out there and does some research and finds something that we didn't discuss, make sure to drop it.
That's not very nice.
Hit us up and let us know. We would love to hear some new information on it.
So there is the link for C's channel. You can join us over there. Okay, ladies, I am going to end this stream. And Todd, gentlemen, sorry, I didn't mean to call you a lady.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Have a
Thank
good one.
you, guys.
See you in a little bit.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.